What's up, everybody? Welcome to York Reacts, and today we're going to be checking out something from Ubisoft. This is a new AI technology that they're trying to kind of breathe into their characters and integrate into their games. Now, somebody that was in a AI art group basically wanted me to react to this and check it out, and so I'm going to dive in here. I do animation for a living as well for games, so hopefully I can shed some light on some of this, give some kind of cool insights on what this AI technology can kind of bring to the table for gaming. So let's take a look, shall we? Let's take a look.
Dear fellow scholars, this is 2-Minute Papers with Dr. Károly Zsolnai Fehér. Earlier, we talked about AI-based techniques that can learn to clone your voice, and then we can perform text-to-speech. So,
And right away, you can really tell that this person that's speaking to us right now is using this technology. The voice sounds really strange.
it would learn this,
I think they have to change that. Further details are expected later.
and then the AI would generate this.
This is a voice line generated by an AI. The first law of papers says that research is a process.
Yes, this
It was
means
pretty
that we
good,
can write
except towards the
something
end there.
and the AI says it in our voice. So that is text-to-speech. But get this, what about speech-to-gesture? What is that? Well, scientists at Ubisoft had a crazy idea.
Here, the model learns to utilize different locomotion and sword swing
They
behaviors.
said, let's create a dataset of characters where the AI can see gestures for agreement, disagreement, being relaxed, neutral, scared, and more, learn from it, and apply it to new virtual characters intelligently. Sounds good, right?
Well, so what he's saying, from what I gather, is that they're gonna basically make these like examples. See the style example down here on the left, which is like a base, and then whenever you put in the words, it uses that base as a base. It uses it as a something to start with, and then it gestures accordingly to based off of what this style sample is. So if the style sample, for instance, is probably putting his hands way up in the air, then most of the time this other version will be doing that. But if they keep this style sample really contained and very generalized, then it will probably work.
But not so fast. Ubisoft
So let's see
is
how
not
this
the
works.
first to try this idea. Here's a technique from just 2 years ago.
So this is 2 years ago.
I check my phone all the time.
Now, if you look at this, this video here, let me pull this over a little bit. She is sliding. So
All the time.
all this technology is great and all, but it's not going to do things like lock down the feet. It's not going to do things like correct the fingers and the hands positioning and all that stuff. This is just going to get a base motion put on here.
Hope that somebody has reached out.
There is something here, but we are humans, at least most of
Looks
us
weird.
anyway, and our eyes are highly attuned to the gestures of other humans, which means that if even the smallest part of the animation is off, we will immediately notice.
Just like his voice when he said, "We will," that sounded weird, right? I mean, it's because the slightest thing that's off in someone's inclination in their voice or in their movement, we're going to notice it right
And
away.
I think every single one of you fellow scholars indeed noticed that something is off here.
Of course something's off. She's shaking all over the place. Her feet are sliding all over the place. Look at her
And
feet.
based on the quality of the animation that is required today to keep the illusion up, I am not sure if this is coming to fruition anytime soon.
Yeah, me either. I think
Just
it looks
look at these
pretty bad,
examples.
but we'll see.
We are so far away. But in any case, let's have a look at the new technique together. The concept is the same. First, in goes a speech sample, and it will be able to generate long sequences using a style of our choosing. Like this.
Society has left behind. What nobody listens to you anymore. Nobody thinks about you anymore. And yet, it is you who populate our shopping malls. It is you.
That looks incredible.
Yeah, well, he's saying it looks incredible, which it looks pretty good for what it's doing. But if you look down at this sample style, the sample style is what's driving this, right? And the sample style is almost exactly what we're getting here.
That looks incredible.
It's
Let's
very,
compare
very
it to the
similar, but still, the timing of it, of when she's gesturing, is still not quite right.
previous method.
I check it. I check my phone All the time.
See, but it looks a lot better. So to see this one on here on the left, look at the one on the left.
All the time.
All the time, and then it like pauses. So when what it's doing is this AI is recognizing a pause in the motion of their voice. So like when the voice stops, it's pausing the motion, or it's letting the motion stay there a little bit and then going into the next motion. And that helps a lot because as humans we do that without even noticing it.
I hope that somebody has reached out.
Yes,
See
my
that?
goodness. A night and day difference. Such incredible progress in just 2 years. Yes, this is from only 2 years ago. And that would already be pretty cool, but it gets
But look at her fingers
crazier than that.
and her hands and all that stuff. This is, like I said earlier, this is cool and all, this technology, but it doesn't matter. You're going to have an animator like myself come in and clean up all this stuff. And this looks worse than motion capture. Why do all of this stuff when you're going to need to spend a bunch of time cleaning it up? When you could just put someone in a motion capture suit and it's going to be like 90% better than this, and you're going to get exactly what you want. And then it takes minimal cleanup effort. So they're really trying to push all this AI stuff, but sometimes it's just easier to do it the normal method, if you ask me.
Much crazier.
They're looking into this because Ubisoft is trying to do it in a cheap way. They don't want to hire an animator to clean it up. They're trying to figure out right now how to populate an entire city of people using AI technology, and so they don't have to hire animators is what they're trying to do over here, but they're not going to get away with it. You're going to still need a bunch of people to clean up all this stuff. No matter how clean this technology gets, you're going to need someone there to fix it and put it into the game and all that stuff.
We can plug in a new speaker the AI hasn't heard about yet.
And these are all simple stuff anyway. These are all simple gestures of people talking on the street and all that. There's nothing much to that anyway. So it's not really taking away much jobs from animators per se if this stuff looked, almost perfect anyway. Because these are all background characters. They don't mean much.
Biggest fake smile to match his. Asked him how his day was.
And to get this data, like I said, it's all based off of the sample style. Now, the sample style has to come from somewhere. It has to come from a hired actor who's mocapping it out and so forth. So
this is really good, but that's still nothing. It generalized to not only new speakers, but hold on to your papers, to new languages too. Listen.
De tous les Mauriciens, de tous les artistes, de nous
and see,
tous. C'est la rencontre entre la créativité.
Wow.
No, see, this guy's really impressed, but I don't think so. I don't think it looks very good, to be honest.
And the list of features just keeps on going. For instance, we can also exert some artistic control here. If we feel that the hands are too high up, we can lower them.
Wow.
Or we can even ask for more or less hip movement during the monologue. And I have to say, it does a lot of things really well, from the lowest energy gestures up to the highest.
No, it doesn't, because the lower energy gesture, if you look at it, it looks bad. It doesn't look natural. It doesn't, just because it's lower energy doesn't mean it's a natural human lower energy. It's just slouching her over.
It is not only better
it's hard to explain, but
technique,
AI and all these things that are coming, it's always going to be missing something.
Is not only
because it's not real. It doesn't have a brain behind it, a real human thinking brain, right?
Controllable than the previous technique, but
it's
it
always
is also
feel weird.
About 7 times faster, and even better, it is done with a neural network that is significantly simpler than that one. So, how many hours of these gestures did the neural network get access to learn this? How big was the training set size? Actually, it requires very little information.
Really?
All it was given was about 2 hours of these gestures.
See, they're only training this AI program and algorithm for 2 hours when they should be training it for
and it is not
40 hours or, like a ton to really get it to work better. When you only have a small sample size, you're going to get small results, basically.
Not copy-pasting, but it can continue these gestures
like,
for
look at her
a
wrist.
long
It's like completely broken.
seamlessly. And as
and
a
look at
cherry
the feet.
on top,
The feet are just
even
sliding
some
all over the
creative
place.
control is allowed. So these amazing virtual worlds are going to be even more full of
See, he's talking about how amazing this stuff is, but look at this hand, for instance, of this pharaoh holding this thing. If this is from a previous episode, it says, if this is an example of AI working, of the guy picking it up, look, his hands sliding all over the place, moving all over the place.
Even more full of lifelike
right.
characters, and with this work, this process is going to be even easier and more accessible for
That
all
looks
of
really
us.
weird too.
What a time to be alive! Weights and Biases provides tools to track your experiments in your deep
And they're going
learning
to talk about
projects.
some tool. Well, you know what? It's interesting, you know. On the note of all this AI technology and all, you know, what's moving forward, it's a big controversial subject because as an artist, you know, you take so much time, you dedicate to yourself to learning how this technology works, learning how to animate when something comes along and just animates for you in certain aspects. It's like, right? But it's all part of the process, right? This is to speed things up and to do things. There's certain things in games that shouldn't take as long as they do, right? And now we're learning how to speed up the process, which will give us more time to put our creative kind of abilities in other areas where they matter most, right? So I don't feel like this is going to hurt me at all. When motion capture technology came around, everybody thought it was going to hurt animators. When motion capture came around, everyone thought it was going to hurt the facial animators. But it didn't do anything. It just gave me more jobs because I learned how to use motion capture and it became a big pivotal part of my job and what I do, right? So all this stuff is kind of like, it just adds more jobs to us, to be honest. It gives us more stuff to do and be able to clean up and utilize in our programs. And we're going to need more people to use the AI software and to train the software. So all of it is no biggie to me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about this Ubisoft AI technology and what it's going to do to the whole gaming, world. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I have a whole bunch of other stuff on this channel about technology, on the Unreal Engine, on gaming in general. So if you're into that stuff, make sure to hit the 2 buttons down below. You know what to do. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!